Mixx over here, man. Oh, man.
Man, if you're not getting in the mix with Kid 6, what is you really doing, baby? Tune in right now.
Get in the mix with Kid 6, you heard?
What's good, everybody? Happy Tuesday. You are now locked in the Radio on Fire. It's your big dog, Kid 6. Chi-Town's finest Carlton, your dig, and your girl, Leah, a.k.a. The Therapist.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Mixxers, what's going on?
Funny you say The Therapist, right? So y'all been watching these YouTube, The Therapist, when he's this, I don't know the doctor's name, but he's like been doing therapy with all of these like rap stars, like Chief Keef and Young Ma.
Nah,
I
haven't seen it.
I was watching the Chief Keef one, and I'm like, I have to keep watching these. Look really interesting. I'm like, dang, something I could do.
I seen the joint with Chief Sosa, man.
Was it
really
something that just
good.
started? This new?
Maybe like a month ago.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like
I'm gonna have to
something
look into that.
That one was like in November, so
Yeah. It ain't that new.
Okay.
But other
Ain't
than
that
that,
old, rather.
it was really good though. I watched it to begin. I was like, I have to watch the rest of it. It was really good.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to check that out, man. Listen, Mixxers, we got a dope show for you guys tonight, as always.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because 2019 is really coming to an end.
2019 is coming to an end.
Like, this year has blown by so fast. Like, it's just crazy.
Yes, it has.
It's crazy. 2020.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Definitely ready, man. Shout out to our sponsors: Sour Life Clothing Line, Capture the World, Rich King Brand.
How was your weekend?
It was a good weekend. Chilled, relaxed, no complaints. How about you, my good brother?
Man, my weekend was supposed to be chill, relaxed,
Uh-oh.
but it wasn't.
Oh, man.
Man, yeah, I didn't even do anything, though. It was just like, for real. I didn't even
That's
do
the most
anything.
interesting thing. It was like not chill.
I mean, kind of interesting. It was just a terrible weekend.
I'm sorry.
Mentally.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
Monday changed it around. I got it together. You know?
Good,
I
good,
had to
good.
get it back.
I'm glad.
Yeah, because you ready for your trip? Going back to the shop next week?
Yeah, gotta go home for the holiday season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mom Duke's birthday coming up too.
Definitely.
Happy birthday to
Shout out
her.
to Mom Dukes, man. Happy
Yes,
early
Dad.
birthday to her. How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty chill. I didn't
Yeah.
do much. It was cool.
You
Went
got
to
like
brunch.
these,
What now? What?
nice shirt.
Thank you. I thought she was about to come for me.
That was me coming for you. It was like a sarcastic, that's nice. Nah, I'm joking. Okay, you got the bling on the shirt, the bling on the ears. Oh, I see what you did there.
So annoying, dude.
I see. Okay, Gucci man.
Golly. But no, our weekend was straight. It was cool.
Oh, that's good.
Regular weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all ready for Christmas?
No, it's a regular day.
Regular?
Yeah.
Nah, Christmas ain't no regular day to me. I'm ready for Christmas.
You ready for Christmas? You
All
love
right.
Christmas? One of your favorite holidays?
I love the Christmas season.
I like the holiday season, but the actual day is like, that's cool. I like New Year's though. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, New Year's is cool. To be honest with you, I feel like I won't get as excited about Christmas until like I have kids of my own.
That's what I feel.
That's
like.
when
It's
I'm really
kinda
going
like,
to get back into the spirit for real. Like,
or you just see, you don't have siblings, and you have a bunch of nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
I feel like it's about the
Yeah.
kids, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's cool.
Yeah, so I'll definitely be looking forward to that.
I did go to brunch though, guys, on Sunday. Rusty Scupper. Did I say it right? I think I did. But it was really good. I think if you guys are looking for a nice brunch spot, I mean, it's expensive, but it's good. Check it out.
Expensive, like
$50 a plate.
What?
that's kind
I mean, I feel like it's a
Honestly,
buffet.
to be honest with you, that's really not bad.
I don't think
Because it
so.
comes with bottomless mimosas too, right?
Yes.
All right, bet.
Yes, I had
Now we
about 4
talking.
of them. So I think
Now
$50
you're
is
talking
cool.
My language. Now you're talking my language.
So yeah, it was cool.
All right, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So what we about to jump right into. What you mixing up? And of course, we got to start with sports. Saints last night crushed the Colts 34-7. But we're going to take the time to really acknowledge a quarterback who I feel as though doesn't really get the type of acknowledgement he deserves. And he's had a hell of a career. I mean, we're always mentioning Tom Brady and, of course, Aaron Rodgers and whatnot. But Drew Brees.
Man,
Yeah.
it was a lot of GOAT talk last night. I'm not.
I
gonna
mean,
Correct.
this man, he's just breaking records out the woodworks. And I mean, you gotta understand, this guy came in. What? I want to say he came in 3 years after Peyton and Tom Brady were already in the league.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like passing?
Because matter of fact, I just looked it up. you know, because I was just in the shop talking about this.
Yeah.
And because remember, Brady came in, 2000? But he didn't play until the next season, for real.
Yeah, when Drew Bledsoe went down with that injury.
Until 2001. And what's his name came in like 02, but he didn't play until like, it was either 02 or 03, but he didn't play until the year after too. Because remember, he was drafted, I think he was drafted by the Chargers.
Yeah.
Then, so it was almost like Peyton was in before both of them.
Yep.
So he caught up and passed them up. That man is... Listen,
yeah,
it was GOAT talk last night. I know
listen,
that.
I need y'all to put some respect on Drew Brees' name, man. And you gotta really think about it. Like Drew Brees, like you said, he got drafted by the Chargers in 2001, and then became a free agent and went to New Orleans, took them to the Super Bowl in 2009, and he's just been breaking records ever since. So when you really look at it, it's like, damn, do the Chargers wish they still had Drew Brees? I mean, because Phillip Rivers, this is probably the only quarterback I know that talks the most crap in the NFL, but has 0 Super Bowl rings, let alone 0 Super Bowl appearances, only 1 AFC title appearance.
Back when LaDainian was there, right?
Yeah.
And that was because of LaDainian.
Exactly.
LaDainian Tomlinson, he was one of my favorite players too. But,
definitely, LT was definitely a beast. But yeah, man, shout out to Drew Brees, man. He's now first for all-time passing touchdowns with 541. But Tom Brady is next in line to pass up Peyton Manning. He sits 1 touchdown behind Peyton Manning to tie him.
He'll pass that.
But of course, 2 touchdowns to pass him.
Yeah.
So
was it 540 for Drew Brees, 539 for Peyton, and 538 for Tom Brady?
Yeah, now Drew Brees, I think he got 541.
Oh, he did get it.
Yeah, 541. Yeah. So
it's a lot.
It's safe to say that Drew Brees and Tom Brady will be neck and neck when it comes to, most touchdown passes in the league.
You got to choose one, guys, to be the GOAT of our era.
The GOAT of our era?
Well, you were saying last week that Tom Brady can't get it because he be cheating.
Yeah.
So you gonna give it to Drew Brees?
Now I wouldn't give it to Drew. I would still keep my same response.
Oh,
with,
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is a beast, but if you want to talk GOAT, you could definitely put Drew Brees up in there. He definitely knows how to manage the football, and I mean that man can pass the ball too.
And what's not even talked about enough about the game last night? Forget the fact that he broke the record. He almost had a perfect game.
Yeah,
he was 29 for 30.
29 for 30. So that was another record.
That was another record for the highest completion percentage of any quarterback in any game in NFL history.
So my man just
could have been 30 for 30, which would have been just saying 30 for 30.
Kind of
ridiculous.
Right?
That would have been ridiculous. But man, shout out to Drew Brees, man. That's a great accomplishment and milestone, man. And that dude, he's just been grinding, and can't say much about that guy, man. Hats off to him. But another suspension, man. Josh Gordon, his 5th suspension.
For what?
Breaking NFL violations. Same thing.
Same thing it's always been for every season.
Come on, Josh. What's going on? Every
But
season.
see, the thing is that he's in Seattle, so weed is legalized in Seattle.
Doesn't matter. He knows what the rules are in the NFL.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think we already know, like, all right, what the rules are, and there are ways that you could possibly beat those rules.
Yeah.
But
obviously he's not.
Yeah, I feel as though like he doesn't care.
I don't think he cares.
I think for us as outsiders, really trying to look at it, I was really trying to look at it as, because he's not the first athlete to smoke weed, and he won't be the last. You gotta really understand, like, these athletes, they really put a lot of wear and tear on their body. So weed is probably the only medication that can really, heal their mind and their body and just take away from the pain that they're going through. Mm-hmm. We really don't know what's going on with this kid mentally.
Yeah.
But I feel as though he just needs to retire so he can just smoke all the weed he want. And
like, who was that? The running back?
Ricky Williams.
Yeah,
Ricky Williams. I feel as though like he was still in his prime at the time.
Yeah, man.
When he called it quits because he, smoking weed.
That man full blown Rasta, and he grew dreads and
all that. Yeah, man. But yeah, so I just think he just needs to retire at this point. This is your 5th suspension.
Yeah, I mean,
and,
if he's not trying to be in compliance.
and when you really look, like, when you really watch this kid play, he's really a beast. Like, he's...
Yeah, but it's getting like overshadowed by his suspensions.
Yeah,
So,
and the thing is, if he could really play a full out season, he would definitely be a top 5 wide receiver in the league, hands down.
maybe he could just go to a treatment
That's why they picked him
center.
up. I
The
mean,
thing is, he was at a treatment center when
I
he
think
was
that
suspended.
just all protocol, man.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like you know how the MLB just removed marijuana from like they listed banned drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I think he trying so hard to fight against the system, like.
Right.
And the crazy thing is, I feel him for that. But it's like when you got so much money on the line and when you so talented, at the very least, compromise because
Right.
they got these policies in these leagues, and we know how it go. They
Right.
be knowing when they gonna get tested for when it's for stuff like this. If they really think you like, sometimes it ain't fair. They think somebody's so nice they gotta be on like some type of performance enhancement,
Right.
Drug testing. But this ain't even the case. They like, bruh, it's weed. Like you mess around and been knew you was gonna get tested.
Yeah.
And you failed it. Like, come on,
I think
man.
my man's was just in heaven once he got picked up by Seattle. It was just like, hold up, Seattle? You said Seattle, Washington? Isn't weed legal over? Man, sign me up. When am I suited up?
Right, for real.
When am I suited for real?
But that doesn't matter because, like I said, he's still getting suspended. So
Yeah, so it's
Because
like at
that's
this
on his
point,
part, man.
yeah, at this
Yeah.
point, man, it's tough. It's tough. It's like, come on, dude, we don't want, because he's really a beast. Like I would love to see him really play a full out season with a team, so y'all could see his dominance. I mean, when he played a full season, I think he was suspended for like what 4, maybe 6 games or so when he was with Cleveland. Came back and still led the league in receptions and yards. How?
Nice.
In Cleveland at that.
And that's my favorite position in football
Like, come
too. So I
on.
was enjoying watching him. Can't even see my man.
Yeah, that like, man, you really couldn't stop that man. And he was on a horrible team and was still dominating. So it's just crazy. Moving on. NBA. Wizards take down the Pistons last night 133-119. Raptors dubbed the Cavs 133-113. Mavs in the Bucks win streak with a 120-116 victory. Thunder by 3 over the Bulls 109-106. Rockets come back and take down the Spurs 109-107. Do you think it's time to rebuild the dynasty there in San Antonio? Make some trades and just start rebuilding?
I mean, I feel like it might. I don't want to say it's the end of an era, but I mean, at some point, depending on what Pop want to do, because he got an understudy who's a woman, by the way, who's going to be a great coach when it's her time.
Oh, definitely.
But I mean, as far as the talent they got in the development, it could be because LaMarcus ain't it. I don't think DeRozan even fits there, and I like DeJounte Murray and everybody else that they got. But then the West, the Wild West, and even a lot of these Eastern Conference teams, they way better than San Antonio right now.
Hell yeah, which is actually surprising given Pop's resume and what he's been able to do and really produce. I feel as though we tossed this word dynasty around, but he was really able to build a dynasty with the San Antonio Spurs for so many years. So I mean, you got to really imagine having a team with maybe 3-4 players who were in their late 30s, pushing 40, on their 15th, 16th season, 17th season, and still able to bring in championships. That's a hell of a run. That's a hell of a resume right there. So Grizzlies get the win over the Heat, 118-111, and the Trailblazers by 1 over the Suns, 111-110. And then over the weekend, the Heisman Trophy announcement was made. Congratulations to LSU quarterback Joe Burrow winning the 2019 Heisman Award. And I told y'all he was going to win it.
Definitely did.
I called it.
He got
I
it.
called it.
I called it too, though, man.
I called it.
He said he done adopted the whole culture down there. He eating his crawfish and gumbo. He wilding out.
Yeah, my man's is like, but did you also hear that Ohio State's defensive end Chase Young could possibly return for his senior season?
I heard. I mean, go get your money. You know what I'm going to say, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm looking at it too. Like, all right, if you do return, because what you had a dominant junior season. You come back for your senior season. Let's say you don't put up those same numbers that you put up your junior year, but let's also say that you suffer a season-ending injury. You know, that could also hurt your draft stock as well. So, I mean, yeah, go and get your money, but who wants to play for the Bengals? Who wants to play for the Giants? Who wants to play for the Dolphins? So, I mean, when you really look at, like, when you really look at the list of teams that's in that top 5
That's
pick,
probably going to pick you.
it's like, do I really want to go there? Or
I mean, it's his start. You got to start somewhere.
yeah.
Even if,
Better, though.
I mean, you can,
definitely
but if
can.
you had the option of not versus starting in a bad team, what would you choose?
I mean, because you got to really think about it. Like, say if
He could do some real good numbers on that bad team. We don't know.
He can do some real bad numbers.
you
on the good
could,
team.
I mean,
He
yeah,
can.
you
but
could.
clearly, that may not be the option. So it's either you have this option or
But
not.
you also got to go to the right team to where you're going to be able to fit in that system, because
That's a fact.
you know it might not work out best for them. You know, prime example, Minkah Fitzpatrick when he got drafted to the Dolphins, they were moving him around so much at different positions on the defensive side. It was like you really couldn't fit in their defensive scheme. But once the Steelers made the trade for him, it was like he was at home. Fits the system perfectly. He's like second or tied for third in NFL with 5 interceptions. So, I mean, you got to really think that, yeah, you have a hell of a skill set, but you also have to fit that scheme.
Yeah,
And that's just what it is. Nick Foles, he fit that Philadelphia offense scheme perfectly. That's why they was able to win the Super Bowl. He out in Jacksonville getting $88 million and is a bum ass quarterback.
maybe he's got lazy like Joe Flacco. That's what they were saying.
Nah.
Got that money.
You know,
Joe got paid and was like, all
Joe
right,
got
Facts.
paid and said, I'm
good.
done
But
with
Joe
this.
Joe
yeah.
Flacco's he's been a mediocre ass quarterback.
He had. I have to agree
Y'all
with that.
y'all weren't even fans of this man, even when y'all drafted him.
Yeah, we can admit to that. I think any real Ravens fan can say that Joe Flacco was
Even when he got y'all a
mediocre.
Super Bowl, y'all still ain't like that man.
But we can't say he's got. That's true, because he's not elite. But
Yeah.
I feel like he just kind of gave up after that money. He's like,
course.
whatever.
Yeah, I feel as though, like, looking at Joe, he has that mindset, like, yo, I got a Super Bowl.
I have
I'm
a
good.
ring.
I got my
got
money.
money. I'm good.
I'm great.
None of this.
Facts.
Yeah.
You seen how Jay Cutler did us in Chicago. He didn't even have a Super Bowl and he got his money.
Right. He's
Shit,
done.
nothing.
Yeah, that's how it be.
Jay
That's how people
Cutler.
do it for the money.
Oh my goodness, man. Moving on to some news here. So, history in the making. Once again, Black Girl Magic continues its dominance in the pageant world. Miss
Yes,
Jamaica,
I know. I was so
Again.
excited when I
Hold it
saw
down.
that. Yes.
Tony Ann Singh
They
was
running the
crowned
board.
Miss
We
World
are.
on Saturday, man. That's
Shout
amazing.
out to Miss Jamaica.
Shout
running the board.
out to my black queens out here just doing the damn thing.
Yes.
They ain't got to get on social media to shake their ass.
Well, I mean, if you're
That's
running
what I'm
for-
talking
If
about.
you're running for a pageant, Kid 6, you won't be doing that.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, I
you know,
know.
this is what they should be out here doing. Have your kids be like them. Go out there and be like them. Don't be like these, Instagram, Twitter twerkers
We
and all
already
that.
we had this conversation. Some men glorify this. They encourage it.
Who encourages?
I said some men and some women too encourage it.
That's such a vague statement.
How?
Yeah.
Because
That's-
what does some mean? Some could
Right.
I mean, I can't say all.
some could mean 2 out of everybody.
A vast majority.
I don't think it's a vast majority.
I don't either.
I think so. That's just my opinion.
I mean,
I don't know.
You, okay,
Nick-
we're not
Nikki,
gonna
what you-
say.
Nikki, what you think? I felt like I heard you say,
I agree with the therapist. Nah, it's like 80% of men and like a combination of 80%.
why it gotta be
I
80%
said
men?
men and women. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying it's 40% men, 40% women. I'm just saying.
Why do y'all think this is culturally influenced? Yeah, because the vast majority. Absolutely. You guys must be living on a rock.
Nah.
How do y'all not believe that though? We are of this cultural.
You know
thing,
who
like,
who is wilding with the influence right now?
Don't
Lizzo,
say it.
because did y'all see the video of the young girl who was singing and got up on the damn table
I don't know.
and bust her ass? I blame Lizzo.
oh,
Y'all out here
she did a
wilding.
jump split.
jump split.
Okay, so you kind of saying my whole
That
point.
was a sturdy ass table. Cause it didn't break.
And that's just one person influencing people. So imagine a whole,
Y'all
bunch of people.
Listen, y'all gotta chill out. I
So
blame
you
Lizzo.
can blame Lizzo, but you can't blame a vast majority of men and some
Because
women.
you going along that.
I don't even know how you came up with this vast majority of either one, man.
Like, it's, you know.
Well, I did say some, but you know, I don't know.
You know.
My microphone broke now.
Nah.
I
Can you
can't
hear?
fix it. No.
Oh, what you do? You broke the mic?
It's
Yeah, just
Uh-huh,
yep.
who's-
Just hold it down.
You guys
Who's
see,
man-
we could totally be like this on air.
I told you that.
So
I told you that man
unfiltered.
finger be
Oh
on
my
the trigger.
goodness, man!
Look, I
oh,
didn't
man.
do anything to the mic, guys.
It's all good. No, it's
Yeah.
cool. It's
But
cool.
we're
Just
gonna-
hold it down for a while.
No, we're gonna hold it. Go ahead,
We're gonna
continue.
fix it.
That's
But
how we
yeah,
do. We're unfiltered.
But listen,
in the
ladies,
mix.
you know, you just get out here, man, and do something positive, man. All right, just do something positive.
I mean, this is okay. That's another thing. You can't say that just because these girls are twerking on the internet. While I did say it's not, I don't think it's classy. That doesn't mean they're not doing anything positive.
What are
So-
they?
Come on, go ahead.
If you're constantly always posting videos, like, oh, this is, you know, whoever become my next man, this is what they gonna get to see.
This is
No,
the
everybody
same
gets to see it.
person in the summertime who say he likes his clatchet women.
It's a difference between.
Oh my gosh. Oh, now it's a difference.
I'm not talking about that ratchet of shaking your ass.
What kind of ratchet you talking about
You
then?
said clash it for one.
Ratchet, still classy and ratchet. You know, we like to listen to hood music together. You get all up in my face when a hood song come on or something.
So they can do it dead. So it has to be the certain time.
Yeah, I'm not saying shake ass. I don't want that ratchet. That's not classy. That's tacky. I don't need that in my life. I'm not taking that home to my mother. Would you take that home to your mom?
So what?
My
So,
mama wouldn't even let me take that.
Like, come
but
on.
you said that they can no because we had this conversation about them twerking on tables and you endorsed this.
I
He
don't
just took that.
endorse
We
it.
just seen somebody trying to do something on the table,
Yeah.
and she just.
You know
And
what,
see-
y'all? Kid 6, he been chilling out
I
now,
don't
y'all. That's
endorse
why.
it. Now, I say it's cool. Now, I'm not saying that you're doing, like, your ass ain't out. If you pulling your dress down because it's short or whatever, you having a good time. But you're not just getting on social media. You know how you have some of these women out here. And Carlton, you see it because we both on Twitter. You have some of these girls that get on Twitter half-ass naked, act like they really cooking something in the kitchen, but they ain't doing nothing, but got a PB&J sandwich on the goddamn counter and was like, dinner's ready, y'all. What are you doing?
Then they're not ready.
Dinner's not ready.
So what? All right. So tell the mixers exactly what they can do. All right, they can go ahead and be in the club and twerk and have a good time. That's the extent of it.
Yeah.
All right.
But you ain't got to get on social media
And be jumping on tables and breaking glasses, but not the table. The table was sturdy, y'all.
Facts. She probably broke her ass.
She probably got some cuts though.
She probably did.
She did hitting
She
that
did.
glass.
You want to talk about Jerry Lawler? Somebody put the rest.
I saw that.
This is why the internet is undefeated.
Hey, listen, the internet will
Yeah.
remain undefeated.
But
man.
I got your message. It's a positive message.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
endorse
Moving on,
it.
you got some news for us because you brought this to our attention in the group chat with
Well, no, let's finish with this one's a bit easier. Let's just go
This
with the
one?
16-year-old one. Yeah,
Oh,
let's shot
you know,
this one
I actually want to toss this
But
into
see,
whose
this-
man's is this?
But see, we have to question: can this be a whose man's is this?
This could be a whose man's is this?
Well, you got
If we gave Jussie Smollett a whose man's is this?
It's a different case.
Nah.
All right, so how about this? How about we talk about it and
All
then
right.
we'll decide if we're going to give this person this
All right,
individual.
Mixer. So if you guys are wondering what we're discussing here, so
Okay.
earlier today, if you guys were on social media, there was reports floating around that a 16-year-old Bronx girl was kidnapped while she was walking home with her mother. Now, it was only the girl who got kidnapped. Again, this was earlier today. And then maybe 2 hours later or so, she was returned. She was found in the park, unharmed, and returned to her family. Only later to find out, because everybody was still trying to figure out the further details, because it seemed a little iffy. So I was looking at it too, and I'm like, something ain't right with this. Like this ain't right. Either somebody had to set this up, the mom or the daughter. Something's not right with this. Lo and behold, the 16-year-old girl staged this kidnapping.
Man, oh man.
For what reason, we don't know.
Well, we found out the reason.
But
So
see, it could be
stated.
many stories. So it's
Okay.
either, the parents are trying to leave, they're trying to move, and she doesn't want to move. But then it's also been reported that, she has a strict mother, so she's trying to get away from a strict mother. Well, I mean, that's not the best way to get away from your mom if they return you to a park and you're still with your mom. So I'm a little confused. I don't think you thoroughly thought this one all the way through.
She's only 16. Like, what did you think? She's going to have a whole plan?
Give her that excuse.
Yeah, I don't care about age. You know what? The little girl who cut her dreads and said that the white kids did that was only 16.
You know, it's so interesting. They're young kids doing this. This is so
But
interesting. It's not like whole adults.
Guess what? Guess who I blame?
Who you
Jussie
blame now?
Smollett.
Always blaming somebody.
I blame Jussie Smollett.
Why do you blame him, Kid Six? Why? He is not. Look, he still to this day is saying he did not lie.
Of course he is.
I mean, of course, but he's not going to.
Of course he is.
Maybe one day he might come
That's
out.
the same with Robert Kelly saying these girls aren't underage and he don't like underage women.
Listen, you seen Robert Kelly. No.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got older men that like younger women. You got younger men that like older men. She said, "Well, are you an older man that like younger women?" He said, "I'm an older man that likes all women."
All the women.
They had the nerve to put that over the Trinidad James beat.
Oh,
right.
White, dark skinned, light skinned. I'm an older man that likes all the women.
So what do we say to this though? Because is this like a trend going on?
I really don't know. Like I don't know.
Listen, y'all want to know my vote? Like, do I vote for?
Yeah, go ahead. What's your vote?
Does that
Steve?
deserve a who's man to this?
It-
Tonight?
So you're
Damn
gonna say
sure
it's to
deserves a
the?
who
I mean, I'm
man's
not
this.
opposed.
You don't know.
No, I'm not opposed
What
to
you
it.
don't
I
know?
was
You're
What
just-
you don't know?
certain. I
Because
have
you
a
gonna be
certain
right,
answer.
and you gonna be in that box.
You
of-
gotta
How
say
you gonna
answer.
make me get whose man's this because she concocted some plan to get away from her
what
mother?
What you gonna diagnose her with?
He got
I can't really diagnose her with anything because she just wanted to get away from her strict parents and said, "Hey, I'm gonna come up with this plan."
I have a.
So I would say she's mentally unstable because she did that. She lied, but
Listen,
She's just dumb.
I'm gonna say she
I'll
has a
say
good
it.
diagnosis.
She just dumb.
all right, she could. All right, well,
I have my vote in.
what's your vote? Okay, so we say, all right, well, it's too the questionable, so we can go ahead and give her who's man's is it.
Questionable. I don't even know why you trying to question it.
My vote. I definitely vote for who's man.
Hell yeah.
You know why I vote for
Why
who's
is
man
that,
this?
Steve?
Because there are legit, actual people all over this country being kidnapped. Seriously kidnapped.
Yeah.
You don't play with that
True.
right now.
Okay. But see,
Can't
I don't
have
think
it.
she understands the severity of
And
that.
she should at 16. And that's
Exactly.
exactly why she's getting who's man is this.
She's smart. You know, these young kids, they be on social media. They see what's going on. They read what's going
They be
on.
on
So, I
social
mean, they
media.
understand that this is a huge thing that's really going on in the world. And that's something you just don't play around with. Because when you actually do get kidnapped, who's going to believe you?
So who was behind the kidnapping?
Apparently her. She probably
Probably-
No, I mean, who rolled up in the car?
Probably
it's
her
South
high school
Bronx.
friends.
It's the South
know?
Bronx. You never know.
Was this recorded?
She knows
High
somebody.
school
that
This
knows
is the time that
somebody
probably
knows
needed to
something
have it
about
been recorded, and it wasn't.
But all they have is just the surveillance camera.
Okay.
Yeah, so they don't even know if there were any
She
like
she
witnesses
didn't even
around.
like do a couple days, shake up her parents a little bit. The same day, 2
dumb.
hours.
She
Just
dumb.
ran down the street. They just went to
Facts.
somebody's crib. They probably
They went-
smoked real quick.
Ain't do
ate some
nothing.
Ain't
pizza.
do nothing right. Let me just wait a couple
probably
hours
said
and
this
see.
She
probably
was
her
like,
boyfriend.
all right, y'all, drop me off at the
So
park.
what y'all think happened when she got home?
Man,
That
that
was-
for real.
She probably called.
Hey.
She probably called hands and feet.
Shit, man, listen.
all hands
She
and feet.
would have caught a smooth hand to the back of her big ass head. What the hell were you thinking?
Man,
You want to talk about strict? So I feel like she's out here wilding. She's 16 and wilding. Gotta be. And she just, wants to
what I'm
be a little
saying.
fast ass
She
out
told her
here.
boyfriend and his friends to come scoop her up.
Yup.
They took her to the crib. They was smoking and eating pizza, playing 2K. Then she was like, "God, I need to go home now because I thought this was gonna be more lit than it was. Let me just go catch these hands and feet and call it a day."
Man, listen. You just got to. I don't know. But she's definitely later on getting a who's man is this.
Okay,
That's for sure.
All right, so we gonna go ahead and give it that.
She
Yeah.
gotta get that.
There's a couple of people that's gonna get who's man.
You
is this.
getting
People
one
are
too.
wild.
Talking about some
Look now,
questionable.
I
You
was
ain't safe.
He was gonna give you one for messing up the mic. I know.
Facts. I watched you
I
the
did
whole
not
time.
mess up the
You gonna
mic.
say, "Oh, my mic is red."
Yo, I did not mess up the mic. It was falling. Thanks,
Listen,
Nikki.
I-
Shout
I
out for
need
that.
to-
For
I
fixing
need to
that.
go back and just recap on all the episodes and see how a total of
How many who's
mans
mans
is
and mixing this?
she-
Y'all can guess how
man.
many who's mans is this that Aaliyah got for absolutely no reason.
Oh no,
Absolutely.
you should
None.
get one for even lying about that bullshit. I can't believe you. But we still got some more news, and this is actually some wild ass news.
It's so all right. I had to try to condense it,
Yeah.
because it's a bit long. So I don't know if y'all heard the story. It was really shocking to me. Like it was almost like chilling to read it. So the mother of slain 6-year-old, now I hope I'm not jacking these names up, Zymere Perkins, on Wednesday coldly recounted the fatal beating her lover delivered with a broken broomstick and how she cleaned her child's limp and unresponsive body, read the Bible, did her makeup. She did all of that stuff, y'all, before she decided to carry her battered little boy to the hospital. So prior to all this, she was diagnosed with what? Because you actually did some research with this.
Yeah.
And she was diagnosed with psychotic breakdowns.
Yeah. But there's a lupus-induced psychosis.
I've never heard of well, I guess medically induced psychosis, which would be the condition of lupus, but that's the first time I've actually heard that lupus can induce psychosis. I've never heard that.
Yeah, I've never heard that either. So you learn something new every day.
Usually you think of that with like substance induced, but not like medically induced like lupus. But okay, she did testify that she killed her former boyfriend. So I wouldn't be surprised that she allowed her other lover to kill her 6-year-old son, and she was there and watched it pretty much. Let it happen.
That's crazy.
It's so much more details to this whole story. How she,
but I think y'all got the gist of it. But see the thing,
mind you, they starved him. Right? He didn't have. He had a day without food and water. He defecated in the living room, and that's what started the whole beating. Because the boyfriend was like, well, why would you shit in the living room? Is the bathroom right there? And the mother was saying that she thinks that he was fearful of going to the bathroom because the lights were out. So he hid it. And that's what caused the whole situation.
Here's my thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No,
so the whole why she waited, because she says she knew pretty much by time when they beat him before, he would kind of like learn how to like be unconscious or play unconscious so that can stop. But this time, for some reason, she knew, like, I think my son is dead and I think that he's that I'm in big trouble. So before she even decided to do anything about it, she said that she is really self-conscious about how she looks. That's where the whole makeup came in. And I guess she read the Bible because she's probably doing some prayer like, okay, I know I'm about to go to jail right now. So let me just pray on this. And then after all of that, she then decides to take him to the hospital where he's pronounced dead.
So one, I want to know, because she was diagnosed with this at the age of 14.
Right. So she's always had mental health issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So once she got pregnant, doctors should have taken the baby away immediately.
Well, here's
here's
the thing. I don't know if all doctors coordinate care. You ethically, you should.
Right.
Like, you should coordinate care amongst like medical staff, like therapists, psychiatrists, whoever else that the patient may have worked with in the past or currently working with presently.
Right.
But this isn't to say they don't always do that. So maybe they did not have this history. I'm assuming they didn't have this mental health history. Maybe her medical history, but not mental health.
No, yeah. All right, I see what you're saying.
Right.
But I mean, Child Protective Service, something they should have. It's like they completely ignored it and closed out all the cases that were going on and all the signs that were being. I mean, because because she cooperated, they're only giving her like 2 to 6 years in prison for this.
And as you can see, she's always cooperated because she testified, and told on herself about the whole murder case. That's right, with her boyfriend. So she's always,
she needs to be somewhere.
She does need to be, yes. So we can safely say this woman has a whole mental health diagnosis, without a doubt.
Like what?
And I mean, her boyfriend does too.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
She doesn't need to be around anyone.
2 to 6 years, and I read that, I was like, wow, that's such a
6-year-old kid.
Yeah,
she only gets 2 to 6 just because.
And I fear now about when she does come out. I don't know what's going to happen to her. I would suspect now that this has been known public.
She just needs to be stationed in a mental institution.
Yeah, or
she's really
at the least
she's what you would label as a threat to society.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Like,
So yeah, in that case, then you would, have her in like a mental institution because she can be a threat to herself or others. Well, obviously, as we can see here, that she has been a threat to others. Yeah.
That's sad.
But it really kind of emphasizes the point about mental health that I still feel like to this day that we don't take seriously. And I'm kind of deviating a little bit because I watched a clip of the Little Love and Hip Hop when Moniece is, crying out for help. And she's telling Fizzle Pop that like, hey, I'm having, when I have these moments, I need you to take their son, even when it's not my weekend or my week. And he's like, well, it's not my week. Who responds like that? Doesn't matter if it's your week or not. If she's telling you that she needs this help. But again, it goes to show you that mental health is just in our community is still glossed over. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who says that? Yeah. Because he doesn't take it seriously. He said, well, you need to get yourself together. But he doesn't really understand that she really may be going through some things.
And Fizz is trying to be up in that April Punani, yo.
Well, she need help too. April's a whole, she's just different.
Like, I don't want his kid. He want that April Punani.
But he clearly out here he's taking L after L after L. L. She didn't out there with some other rapper. He didn't really want to claim her. He was like, he made a comment like, yo, keep these bitches on leashes. Oh my God. That's embarrassing. You out here looking crazy. Fizz now, like, just don't, he can't get his bag.
He gonna realize, like, damn, I really messed up my career.
And your reputation.
My reputation.
Which is important, I think.
Just for a storyline. Because I feel as though that's what it really is for a storyline. I don't know if it was for a storyline.
I think he was trying to get back at O, and that was the only way to do it, but it failed and failed miserably.
Did
what though?
I think he was super salty way back in the day because O decided to go solo and left them hanging.
When you really look at it, O was the more talented one of the group.
That's not debate. I don't think that's
when you look at the group. When you look at the group, you already knew off rip O was going to be the one to go solo.
But he doesn't mean they had to like it. So I think he was salty.
When you looked at New Edition, off rip, they was trying to get Ralph to go solo.
I wouldn't even have put Fizz second place to go solo.
Who, Fizz?
I said I wouldn't have even. Put
hell no. I probably would have put Bug.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
And Aaron Cousin after that.
Cause can Fizz even sing, rap? What does he do?
He look like something to some people.
He just light skin with curly hair.
Girls like that though. Some at least. Some.
Hey, that's who y'all was screaming over too.
Nah, people like Bug and nobody really like Raspy at the time.
You used to like Raspy. Don't talk about So Effing Classy's cousin. Y'all know she going on tour.
I still feel like he was the best dancer. I said that.
He's not better than O.
I feel like today he was really doing it, and I felt like he was more sharp than O was.
He was high. He had to be sharp.
All right, but bringing it back to this, I feel like in our community we really need to stop looking over mental health because you have situations like this time and time again, and you see it all the time. That we just don't take it as seriously as we need to. It's very serious, guys. Like, people go through stuff. But I think
sometimes it's a little bit difficult because you kind of wonder, like, okay, who's really crying out for help when it comes to this, or who's just doing it for attention?
You don't know, but the fact that we do question, I'm not saying it's not a legitimate question.
Yeah.
But because it's so prevalent, especially in our community, that question we really need not to. It's just we need to take it seriously at all times. And if it comes out that it's not serious, then okay, then we know you're like the boy who cried wolf. But
right.
You can't just be like, well, I don't know if this is serious or not, because it could very well be serious, and then you have situations like this, and then what do you do?
Man. Yeah. We can't have no situations because this is
right.
It
There's
is.
so many flags that was there where we could have seen something and it was just looked over.
Yeah,
this is wild. Here you have a little 6-year-old boy, life gone.
Yeah.
Sad. It's tragic.
Yeah.
Extremely tragic.
I wish I could have read more about it, but if you guys check out that story, if y'all want to get more of the details about that.
Yeah. Moving on to some entertainment. Did Wack 100 get slapped up by Nipsey's bodyguard? Now, here's my thing. I don't understand why, like, Wack continues to talk about Nipsey, why he feels like he's valid enough to give an input on, what Nipsey's legacy left behind, and who is determined as a legend and whatnot. Like, who are you, Wack? That's what I really want to know. Like, who are you?
I don't know who he is.
Because I just, at this point, I'm really tired. I feel as though every time I come around and looking at the media, it's always about Wack 100 saying something about Nipsey. It's like, yo,
I don't know who is Whack 100. I don't know who he is.
He's some West Coast guy. He
okay.
He managed the game. He managed Blueface. You know what I'm saying? He also gang bangs out there, whatever. But did he get slapped up by Nipsey's bodyguard? Let me run down my memory bank from the video that I seen of the aftermath.
Right.
Quote me or don't quote me, because you can see it yourself. But I do recall him in the video saying, he knocked me out. We got to get down. So, I mean, did he get slapped up? No. Did he get knocked out? It sounds like it. Do I care?
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Y'all already know Nipsey is my dog. That was my dog. So,
facts.
I mean, don't speak, like, let the man rest in peace, bro.
Yeah.
Like, why are you speaking on him at all in any way? But if you don't have anything positive to say about him, he's deceased.
Yeah.
Just keep it to yourself, bro.
But I'm also trying to wonder as to why, like, some of the people in the media are even still asking him, of all people, questions about Nip.
You know why? Because they know what he gonna say and they trying to cause a reaction. They trying to get him knocked out again.
If I were him, then if this happened, I just would be saying nothing. Just be like, I'm just not gonna speak on him no more and move on.
Yeah, just stop.
Yeah.
Like I'm tired of hearing about this dude. He has to be around like 50. Like, bro, go sit down.
I think, I don't know. Some people just feel like who didn't know who Nipsey was prior to his death, and they probably feel like he's gotten all this like accolade and attention and recognition. And I don't know if people feel like they supposed to be getting the same thing. He just got out of nowhere, but I don't know if people were probably following Nipsey way before his death, then they would have known what he was all about.
Yeah,
you
you have some people who actually were, and then you just have some people who just.
I think people post attention. They focused on that. Like, oh, we didn't really know about Nipsey until he died. Like, why is he getting all this attention? Not knowing that he's done all this amazing things prior to that, you just was uninformed.
Yeah. You know what else it is too, because everyone feels like every accolade that you do, you have to post it.
Right.
Everything that you do for the community, it has to be posted.
Right. And
meanwhile, no, it doesn't, because what he genuinely did for the community, that's what he did. It wasn't to showboat and post and be like, record this of me handing a pizza to this homeless person. Nah, he genuinely did that.
Plus, you know how people do on social media anyway. They feel like if they haven't seen it on social media, it didn't happen.
Right.
Well, it wasn't talked about, it didn't happen. So she was
doing stuff for a decade, and the real legends and the real OGs, they knew, and they gave him his flowers.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. But just keep Nip's name out your mouth, fam. Just go on about your business and worry about your whack ass artist Blueface at this point. Please and thank you. Moving on. Could Tekashi be out soon? And when I say soon, I mean talking about tomorrow soon, as in Wednesday.
I didn't even know lawyers can even project that if it's publicly.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Give us you're our lawyer guy over here. Seem to be.
Facts. So the thing is with his case, it was RICO. They was trying to get him for racketeering, conspiracy, et cetera, et cetera. So, with that, in the state of New York, there was like a 47-year minimum.
Right.
So, with all of the snitching that he did, which was a whole lot of snitching, by the way.
A whole lot. I mean, a whole lot.
It allowed the judge and with everybody to pretty much knock his sentence down from 47 years to a year and a day. And he's already been in there a year and a day. So they gave him time served. So now it's like he'll probably be out tomorrow. We don't know where he gonna go, when they gonna let him out, or whatever. But because for their statistics, percentage people that get found guilty for RICO or whatever, they gotta still give him some kind of time. They can't be like, oh, we just let him go. He didn't do anything. He gets time served. Because when they go to court, what will happen is it's almost like a plea deal for like the 47 years, whatever, and then they end up giving him a year and a day. He's gonna be sentenced, quote unquote, to a year and a day, but then it's gonna be time served, so he's gonna get out.
Do you think there's some leniency because of his celebrity status and the snitching, but
not because of his celebrity status?
Okay,
definitely because of the snitching.
That's a fact. When you Google snitch, his pic will pop up.
He wrote a letter to the judge, just saying.
A letter to the judge.
He
Judge,
did.
I'll tell you everything you need to know to give me.
Well,
a copy.
yeah.
That's what that
He
letter
did.
said.
So how, the big question is, and we talked about this before, how is he going to be, received by the public? Because a lot of people are saying, well, these kids out here don't care. They just, their favorite artist is home. The value of being loyal and not snitching is not,
So I got
bred in this kind of generation.
I got
They don't
two
really
things to say about that though.
care about that.
The first thing is that I found out. I'm gonna give a shout out later, but I talked to some kids today, and they feel how we feel.
Really?
They was they was in there like, I don't listen to no snitch nine. Like they was really in there. Like, so for one, the newer generation of these kids, they aren't as behind on certain things as I thought. But aside from that, we do understand a lot of his following were the people that look like us.
Okay, right.
And this is I watched the interview before it was a Dave East interview, and he was saying that he knew Snitching Six, what's his name again? Snitch Nine, whatever y'all want to call him.
Snitch Nine.
He knew him before he was a rapper,
right?
Because he knew some of the people, the Treyway Bloods, whatever, from New York. He knew some of them before, and he said Snitch. The boy was a cameraman or something like that. And he said the next time we seen him, he was the biggest blood he ever seen in his life. Mm-hmm. So he was just like, they asked him, yo, did you think he was snitch? He was like, absolutely. But he also said that people from other walks of life, rather, that don't look like us, we're like the only community that really hold down that no snitching thing. They don't care about that. Mm-hmm. So they might still be willing to give him a chance. He can have a whole separate fan base from them just alone. Like,
do y'all think that he's gonna come back humble, or do you think he's gonna come? Because again, he made his career like talking about him being like the part of the gang and stuff. He can't talk about that no more. So
that man is coming back with a big ass target on his forehead.
I thought that at one point, but I don't know now. I don't know now. Like, I'm not sure if that may happen.
That's a dead man.
But do I think that he would come back humble? I don't know if he did. Will people actually buy his music, because that's not how they know 6ix9ine to be.
Up. So I mean, I feel as though if he even fixes his lip to try to get in somebody's face, he'll probably catch a lip slap.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll do that.
Yeah.
What do you mean by humble?
Like, okay, so you know that he was
facts. Like
no, okay, not so much his snitching, but you know how he was doing all the gangster stuff and kind of claiming the hood and all that kind of stuff, and he can't do that kind of music now. He can't do the hood music.
Wasn't claiming him.
So now, what if he's deciding that, okay, I'm going to continue music? What is he going to rap about? Yeah, what's he going to talk about?
I don't know.
So I mean, I don't think he could do like the whole conscious rap, because people are not going to exactly just your face right there.
Somebody might try to knock his ass unconscious.
So it's like, what is he going to do when he comes home?
Go
hide.
I don't think he has to hide, but I don't know if he can necessarily be respected in music per se, or like what.
Man definitely gonna have to hide. I ain't gonna front. You see how much.
So I guess we'll know tomorrow, because that's when the court date is held. So
yeah, so we definitely
will
gonna see. Moving on. So NBA YoungBoy is expecting his 5th child. Now here's why, and I asked you this question the other day at the shop. See, it's crazy because you hear a lot, and he has mentioned it, that he has herpes. I have so many questions, like
for him.
Well, does he is he treating it? Is he letting the women know that he's sleeping with unprotected? Like, yo, I have this. Like, are they just, oh, I don't care? Well,
first I hear that go ahead, see. You look like you had a lot to say. That we didn't know. Well, even though he mentioned it, some people were saying that we don't know if that was true or not, because they were saying like publicity stunt. We don't know, right? He could be treating it. We don't know, but.
Are we really at a point to where publicity stunt means, if I have to make it seem I have a STD that I can't get rid of?
Well, no, I don't think.
Are we there?
Come on.
Are we really there? Are we really that far gone?
Where we have to get that much attention to say that?
Like, come on.
I mean, the crazy thing is, it sounds like believable.
Yeah.
But
to that extent, come on.
I don't know. I don't think he would go as far as to make it to do a publicity stunt.
Come on.
No, I don't think so.
When that when that
Attention
plus
needed.
size girl said that Usher gave it to her, Usher immediately, come on.
Wait, he did not.
Come
that.
on. Come on, y'all. Come on now.
Why you
So
saying,
it's like,
come on?
no, that's what he was saying. Like, come on, y'all know I ain't do that to that girl. It was a publicity for her.
For her. Yes.
You know, so it's, I just don't not this, no. But
Okay.
even still, like, y'all don't, this is your health at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Take away the money, all the money that he getting. And it's not even to say that he's even getting that much money because, you know, people in the industry, they be getting jerked
You do
left
know
and right.
that 67, probably more of the population does have herpes. A cold sore is herpes. Chickenpox is herpes. So if you had a chickenpox when you were younger, guess what? You have it.
Damn that.
So if you probably know someone, and that's the thing. I think we need to start educating more about it. And people probably didn't know that. Like 70, let's just say 70% of the population does,
Are
and
you sure
don't
that's
know
the
it.
percentage?
Go look it up.
You just went from 67 to 70.
I'm probably saying no because
So you just
67 is
added
such
3%.
a 67 is such an old number now that they said in the CDC. I'm sure it's probably higher now. 80 to 90% of people don't know they even have it because they don't test for it in the standard testing.
That's true.
You probably know someone like so. I think, and again, you don't know if you have it. Again, if you had chickenpox, you do. So it's many of the people who do, and you know, you take your medication or not because again, a lot of people who are asymptomatic and they don't have any symptoms, and you go about your day. So I think people need to be more educated about it rather than like hearing it. They don't. I think that's the thing. People don't really know and educate themselves, so they're kind of like, ugh, and they don't really understand about, and again, it's not even just herpes. We could talk about HPV that a lot of people, do you know that you don't test? Men are the general carriers of HPV that pass it on to women, and they don't have tests for that. So when a women now, they get their pap smear and they have I'm positive for HPV, and they go around blaming the men. They don't know because they don't test for it. Same thing with, you have to specifically ask for, in the case for herpes, a blood test, or in case of HPV, you get your pap smear around the age 30. And if you've already been sexually active, you've probably been exposed to it. You've probably been exposed to many things and you don't know. Because men typically don't get tested. So they pass on a lot of these things and vice versa, and they don't know. So it's a lot of miseducation about it. I feel like you have to become more educated.
Okay, so with all of the miseducation and the education that people need,
Mm-hmm.
do
What's
you
your
really
question?
think these women don't be knowing that NBA YoungBoy?
No, in the case of that, I mean, because he publicly stated it, but
Right.
we don't know that what they,
You don't know if they care.
or if it's their choice. You know, it is a treatable condition. Say there are people who have HIV who are undetected, who are having sex, and they're not passing it on to their partners. Or for some who decide that they want to, decide to be with someone who has that, who, take a pill with their partner and like the pill prep, they take that and go about their day.
I think he's just wilding. And these girls are
I mean, I don't know. Who's he pregnant? I mean, who's his girlfriend or the girl?
Man, I don't.
You say he's pregnant,
Raw
that's
dogging.
good.
I don't
It's
know.
expecting a fifth child.
Uh-huh.
So this man is just out here wilding. You have 5 kids. You're like still a teenager.
So people who have had or had STDs cannot be capable of having love. I mean, having somebody have love because of their condition.
See, it's
This
a
is why
difference
people
between-
don't disclose
No, it's a difference between you knowing, but you still out here wilding.
and not informing people.
Yeah.
Okay, what's considered wild? Just out there
even
raw
if-
dogging.
Even if you
Like,
are informing people, like, how is your intention still to wild out?
yeah.
Oh, well, no, I don't necessarily think you. Well, in general, I don't think anybody, in my opinion, should be wilding out because this is the reason why we have these spreads of STDs anyway. So I don't think it should be subjected to just a population of people. It should be across the board so we can reduce the stigma, number one, and number two, prevent the spread of these diseases. Don't wild out, period. Again, if you're going to be having unprotected sex, you wear a condom. Right? So that's across the board. Unless you're in your monogamous relationship, you and your partner know that you are the only two people that are engaging sex with each other, and then you can feel comfortable, to have unprotected sex. But if you're not doing that, again, I'm not, shaming or judging anybody who wants to go out here and have all these partners. but just be mindful of, you know, what you are out here doing or what you can be exposed to.
Protect yourself, man. Be
All
smart.
right. So that was a little, you know, sex ed, guys. Because and I say this not sarcastically. I say this because there are a lot of people who are misinformed and don't know. And you do want to try to reduce the stigma for those. We have listeners here, I'm sure, and who may have been exposed to certain things, and you just want to reduce the stigma for these folks.
That is a fact.
All right.
Hell yeah, man. So listen, we here to educate.
Did you know that you guys are carriers of HPV and didn't know? You didn't know?
Yeah.
Okay. So ladies, don't go blaming your guys. They don't know. If you get that pap smear and you say you're HPV positive, you get rid of it in 2 years. Good nutrition
that's like one of the causes for cervical cancer.
Yes.
A lot of women too.
But it's do you guys know it's 100 strands of HPV,
Yeah.
and with the vaccine, it only prevents maybe about like 4 of them, and there were so many side effects of those, so people just dumping the whole vaccine altogether because there was so many side effects. So
I feel like anything that you have to take, there's always some type of side effect, no matter what.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like if you are going to be sexually active, that, you know, you can be exposed, if not already, have probably been exposed to something that you don't know. Yep.
So that's all we have for what we mixing up. So, you know, we're going to turn things over to Chi-Town's finest, Carlton, you dig? And he going to make this one a good one because next week, unfortunately, he won't be here.
Yep.
But it's cool because we're going to hold things down.
Oh, yeah. So, y'all know how I do, you know. When I keep my ears to these streets and I keep them clippers to them heads. You know what I'm saying? So, this shop talk, I wanted to talk about something, you know, that I think is near and dear to all of our hearts. It's music related, which is definitely near and dear to all of our hearts. But especially for the younger generation, because it seems to be a lot of things wrong with this younger generation. I find us talking about wild things happening with this younger generation often on this show, right? And we can even tell from some of the music that they're listening to, you know, whether it's one thing or another. But, you know, it's a lot of depression in the music industry as far as a lot of these younger artists, and like they end up becoming drug users, abusers, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes it might not even be depression. They kind of just influenced by some rappers making them like to do it. Like we just discussed last week when Juice WRLD was he died, you know, in Chicago. Now some people were saying that, like, you know, it's a lot of depression in his music, which is probably part of the reason why he was using the drugs too. But there was also like some people saying that he was just influenced by a lot of other rappers and stuff that he listened to that were older than him that talk about using like lean and perps and all of that stuff. And so my thing that I wanted to talk about, because I just feel like often when I have a lot of these conversations, it's not about the sound of the music as much as it is about the content. So pretty much my logic was, I feel like certain kinds of music almost, I guess, requires a certain content. So like a lot of turn up music, because of like the environments in which you will be listening to it, you can't really talk about certain things. Like you can't talk about worldly things or socially conscious things, not often. You know what I'm saying? If you can, I've only seen a few rappers that can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like Kendrick Lamar, I hear all right in the club or something like that. And people be rocking out, but a lot of it is kind of related to that environment. Like on some, you know, we going, they listening, talking about stuff about women or using drugs, drinking, smoking, whatever. And I always felt like, you know, you kind of had to talk about that stuff until this rapper by the name of Jermaine Cole, he made an album called KOD, and he used like that sound to talk about more positive things. And, you know, from a lot of people like us, he got a lot of great feedback. The album did well because it's going to do well because he's great. He's cold, cold world. But a lot of people was like, nah, I ain't feeling it. It's corny, da-da-da. And I'm like, wow, it sounds like what y'all like. What is it that you don't like? Then I realized it was the content. So as far as like the content mattering like that, you know what I'm saying? How, like, what is it? Do y'all think that the people that really listen to this music that has that type of content, do you think they like it so much because they can relate to it? Or what do y'all think could be done as far as like certain kinds of music that's enabling drug usage and depression type music to for the sake of like the youth?
You know, know, that's a really good question. And I think for me, you just have some who like it just because it sounds cool to them. Some of them, they probably do relate to it and are users of it. Others, you know, they just want to rap it because it sounds good, but don't really do it. You know, you just capping out here. You know, the same way you fraud on social media, you fraudulent with this, acting like you about this, you know, lean perk type of life. You really not. So I think it's a mixture of people just wanting to follow a trend, but not really a part of the trend.
I would agree.
Yeah. Because another thing that I noticed though too with a lot of the music is we know the youth are very impressionable, and it's not even just like the drug usage. Because for one, you know, mental health is an uprising thing now. Like people, I feel like are more aware now than ever before, at least in my lifetime. But it's also certain things in people's lives that, I guess rappers make it seem like it's cool, and. This isn't anything new. Like I feel like for the last 30 years or so, like even back when NWA and stuff was around, and they were highly scrutinized because people felt like they were glorifying like gangster rap and stuff that they was doing, and they was just like, nah, we just telling y'all the things that we seen, the stuff that we had to do. We're not enabling it, even as far as like selling drugs and stuff. What Jay said, like I told you, sell drugs. No, Hov did that, so hopefully you ain't gotta go through that. Like, but. I feel like a lot of kids are so impressionable now too that they feel like they want to relate so much to the music that they end up doing it. Like I know people from like great like upper class households in like rich neighborhoods that they grew up in, and they trying to turn the neighborhood into the hood just because the music that they listen to, and they want to be like I want to have come from that. You know what I'm saying? Listening to stuff, and they want to relate so much. Like even with that, like. Who do we even blame for that? Do we blame the rappers? Do we blame the parents? Like, who do we even blame for that?
I mean, you can't even. I want to say you can't even really blame the parents, because it's like even when you try to prevent your child from listening to the music, they're still going to listen to the music. You know, the kids today in technology, they're going to go to school. Their friends are going to put them onto the music. Yeah. Somehow, some way, they're going to be around that music. So you can't even really blame the parents. You gotta blame the influencers of it. It's just what it is. And that's what happened. And I feel like all these new artists that come into the game, you know, these young new artists, I feel like it's the same thing. You know, they get tatted up, all these 1,001 tattoos on their face. They popping pills, you know, drinking lean, all of this. They try to fit into something that they probably weren't even doing, you know, 4 or 5 years ago prior. But it's like, okay, I'm into rap. My friends are telling me I'm good. So now I have to get tattoos. I got to switch up my image. I got to be on perks. I got to drink lean.
I literally know somebody. I think he might have been like probably like 20 years old, maybe turned 21 this year. I don't even know. Who got his face tatted and moved to Cali to be a rapper. This is the thing that got me. He got a tattoo on the side of his face, and I was like, yo, like what is that? It was like an A in a circle. It kind of looked like the Avengers logo, because that's what I was telling him.
Is this rap name?
No, that's just what I told him. It looked like the Avengers logo.
Okay.
But I asked him what it stands for. He said it stands for anarchy. I'm like, bro, you, for one, I don't think you really know what that means. 2, I'm sure you're not about that life. But for 3, I was like, bro, what did your mom say when you seen that? You know what this man told me? His mom cried when she seen him with that tattoo on his face. And he was just like, yeah, I want to be a rapper. I said, you know what? Now, you better become a rapper. Because you made your mama cry by getting your face tatted.
Facts.
So if you don't now
if you don't, you just got an A on you. He got something more added to it, but I don't know how far his music.
Of all the places, he couldn't like do it somewhere else?
Right here.
Can we?
Just in case.
Can we give him a whose man's is this?
I think.
I mean, then you gotta get other people tattoo their face of whose man's is this, because it's just even a lot of rappers out here who still got it. It's not cute.
But it's just the fact that, because I feel like it's so many layers to take from this, because looking at like the environment in which he grew up in, you would have never expected him to do that. For one. For two, I know he did it because he feels like he can relate so much to the music that he listens to.
Right.
But I also feels like the music that he listens to is pumped into his head. It's almost like he didn't have really a decision on what he would like, because he just kind of went by what was there, and that's the kind of stuff that was there. That's why I felt like, as far as like what the media chooses to, really play the most of which influences the kids the most, along with like, I guess, parental advisory, but also along with like these children's actual mental health, I'm trying to find like where the balance could be, as far as not censorship, because I don't want nobody to feel censored with art, but like where stuff like this can be fixed. Because I'm tired of hearing about like rappers and stuff dying at young ages because of they overdosing, or even at whatever age they overdosing, or even when you just hear about them just using drugs constantly, talking about depressive. Like I want to find help. Like that's why I really like people like us, whatever. Why we can even really listen to people like Cole, because Cole is like, bruh, I'm trying to help y'all. Like I understand differently. I seen the other side. Not even me using it, somebody that I love using. Like I've seen it, and he's trying to help. Like I don't know, maybe solution is to listen to more J. Cole. I like that solution.
I mean, I love, and I hear so many people say J. Cole is boring. I just don't understand their mentality.
Because again, they're not rapping about. He's not rapping about what they want to hear. Mm-hmm. I feel like you have certain people who try to force themselves to live in this world of where they want to be, from the hood, of where all the crime is going on all the drugs. It's like you have some people who act like look down on themselves because they come from the suburbs. And they feel like they're corny. So it's like when people mention it, they try to downplay it. Oh man, nah, I just be over here from time to time, but I stay over my grandmom's. She live out there. And, bro, like it's cool if you're from the suburbs. That's where you from.
I don't think people think that's cool though. Like being from the suburbs.
But why?
Because it's not the hood, and you think like most of the hood guys are.
Don't nobody rap about being from the suburbs.
Exactly. They clown like Diggy Simmons.
And that's the crazy part, because Diggy can actually rap.
He can actually rap. I think, he ain't a lyrical monster, but he's
look up to.
Right. But people think you don't have any street cred. Like nice, your parents got money. You grew up in the whole suburbs and mansion.
Credit, though. Like you don't even need street credit. Like that was like a survival tactic that people had in the streets.
Facts.
Mm-hmm. I think people misconstrued it too. That's a good point.
But the crazy part is that the same people who like they try to force themselves to be around, it's like those are the same ones who want to get out of the hood. Granted, you have some who want to stay in the hood because that's what they're just accustomed to. But you have those who actually want to get out. They want to get away from that.
So I have a question. We talk about how we respect rappers who are authentic. If these rappers are actually using drugs and they're rapping about it, then...
It's about how you rapping about it, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because for one...
they can't tell them, well, don't use, because I use. So what's the message in it?
You can.
Unless you're saying like something you've done before.
When it's an addiction like that, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit deeper than just being like, I can't tell you don't use it because I'm using it. It's like I'm using it because I'm addicted. I wish I wasn't addicted, but I am addicted. So don't use it because you're going to become addicted like me. And you're going to end up using it like
But is that going to be all in your rap songs?
I mean, that's the thing though. People don't look at it like that. An addiction goes so far because everybody got different levels of what addiction can mean to them. Like some people can do a certain drug once a day and be addicted. Some people can do it 3, 4, 5, 10 times a day and be addicted. But I just feel like the realness in the rap, you gotta kind of be conscious of not only your audience but the way your audience perceives it.
Right.
And I know a lot of rappers they kind of you want to use you got people want to make their money and stuff, you know what I'm saying, but at the same time it's like at the very least somewhere let it be clear that you're not glorifying certain things, because some people really don't know.
Now, of course, this is not on the same level because, again, what we're talking about is influencing kids to do something that can take their lives, right? But we're talking about how, music artists in general should be more mindful of their lyrics because how the audience can perceive it. Weren't a few months ago, you guys were just talking about Chris Brown, and I was saying how it wasn't a good line because the core audience will probably perceive it this way. And you guys are like, no, why should he be mindful of his lyrics?
That's different. Because it's a difference between being mindful of your lyrics and people taking your lyrics as meaning something that don't mean.
We all know what Chris Brown meant, y'all. But that's a whole nother debate.
What he meant. And he meant what we were saying he meant.
He did not mean healthy hair.
He literally explained. He literally.
So don't be trying to do that.
Before we get too far off topic.
but
before we get too far off topic, he did explain what he meant. We can go back
Carlton,
to it
if you want to believe that
if
Chris
I want to
Brown,
believe what he said, he meant,
his baby mama Amika, whatever the hell her name is,
cool.
the chick with the good hair.
That's cool.
That's what he meant.
All of that is besides the fact. He literally said what he meant. That's what I'm going by.
He meant South African queen.
I'm not going by what we think he meant. I'm going by what the person who said it, said.
He just tried to do damage control. Chris Brown.
I mean, he could have. You can say that.
The women in the community know what he meant.
The women in the community, if you want to think he meant something bad, you can easily convince yourself that.
Y'all just want to always find a reason to be upset.
No, but I bring that up to say I agree with your point that artists in general should be a little bit more mindful of how their lyrics can be perceived, even if they didn't mean it. A certain way.
But that's the thing though too, because even along with that, it's like when you say certain things a certain way, how could you mean it any other way?
Right.
Like when people talking about they be like high off their ass off certain drugs or whatever. How because
in certain cases it's self-explanatory. It's very direct.
Yeah, and that's usually what it is, and that's usually like the most popular music that we hear people whatever, and they be glorifying it and stuff, and that's people end up doing it. Like a lot of people just feel like it's easier to. Well, it's more acceptable because it's all in the music, and you hear about some of your favorite rich celebrities doing it or whatever, and then they feel like they can do it in the same way, and then that's why you got some people that's like, I feel like that's another thing, and I'm using Cole a lot because Cole is just such a very good reference to use when talking about this stuff. But he was said even in the music where some people they do it because they think it's cool and they end up addicted, which they didn't think would happen because. They don't think the person that's talking about it is addicted because they're so casually talking about doing it. And then you got some people that self-medicate and that's why they're doing it. Then these people share the same environment. So it's like if I'm using a drug because I'm depressed and you using a drug because you think it's cool, but we both using it. You don't know why I'm using it. I don't know why you're using it, but we both listening to the music that's talking about using it. Then you got more and more. You just end up with more and more users, whatever. And then like we said too, those people are so impressionable even when they might not be going through what they think. They might not even be going through anything really. They might convince themselves that they are, and the drugs can help them do that. Yeah.
Now I do think while artists should be a little bit more accountable for their lyrics, I also think on the other side too, we as the consumers can, like, we know the effects. I mean, people know the effects of drugs and they still use anyway, but it is still a personal choice. Even though these kids
aren't. I don't even think people know as much as we think they know.
Well, clearly, because I just had a whole sex ed class, so a lot of us are like misinformed with a lot of things. But I do, which is why education is so profound. And then this is where the parents need to come in and to be mindful what your kids are listening to and hearing these lyrics and educating your child about what that is. Because again, we do know, like you said, people may not even know what addiction is really all about and how easily. I mean, there are people out here who are like people who are in sports who get injuries and start off with painkillers and bam.
Yeah,
and that wasn't starting off with just I'm just being experimental. It's I need it because I'm in so much pain, taking all these oxys or Percocets, and then not even realizing now that they've garnered a whole addiction and don't know. So
just be mindful out here, man. Seriously,
because I know as far as like even people using the stuff in the music, there's two sides to education. One side is educating yourself because of the negatives to get you to not do it. The other one is educating yourself on what the drug actually does so that when you use it, you know what you're doing.
Facts.
Like if you decide to, and
a lot of people decide to. They're like, what does this drug do? Oh, it makes you feel like this. Oh, well, I want to try it now.
Or it's not. Because I know the facts. Like when I had a cyst taken out a couple years ago, like the side of my leg, and they wanted to prescribe me Oxy, and I was like, oh no, I'm good. I just taking Tylenol. I was in a lot of pain, and the oxy probably would have did it. But I just know that I probably can. This can cause an addiction for me. I don't know. I'm not even trying to mess with that, so I'm just gonna say no.
Some people want to do it because some people might even be like, oh well, if this much might be too much, I'm gonna just take a smaller portion.
And they don't even realize how that small percentage could be enough for you, to start in a whole addiction.
So even with all of that being said, though, I feel like it's
two parts.
It's two parts.
It's two parts.
We recognize the two parts, but I feel like it's damn near our role as a society to at least, if people gonna listen to this music because it sounds cool or whatever, for one, encourage the kind of music that's not encouraging this drug usage.
I agree.
For the people that's still gonna listen to it, and for the people that's still gonna make the music, at least try to teach people the difference between listening to it for the sake of like whatever is cool music to listen to versus actually being that impression by it.
And I guess it may not be easy for some people too, just like with mental health, substance abuse user. That whole community is completely shunned. There's so much stigma around it. So people again don't want to come out and talk about, I've had or currently have an addiction. I'm sure artists, they're human as well. They may not feel comfortable to disclose that. So I feel like hopefully we can encourage these people to talk about what that was like for them, so these kids can get the idea of like, hey, they went through this, I don't want to really go through that. So but again, when you're getting scrutinized for having an addiction or had addiction, you're not going to feel comfortable to talk about it. So just like we was talking about with the STDs, trying to reduce these stigmas, because people are really going through a lot more that we know, and we don't make it any better when we shun and you're this, we don't make it any better, and then we perpetuate essentially the stigmas that surrounds all of these things that people struggle with on a day-to-day basis.
That's a fact. And if there's anybody out there listening that can relate to any of this, feel free to call in. Of course, we have the therapist right here that can help you as much as you need help. You guys, yes,
I thank you, see, for saying that, because I want people to feel more comfortable, to be vulnerable, to talk about these very personal things that no one wants to feel comfortable talking about. But again, when you start to close that gap and that stigma, we can create a more safe and comfortable environment for people to feel like, hey, I have this, or I was once an addict, or I this, and you can be like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's educate. Let's do more of that, guys. Definitely. I know some people are listening at home like, how do I know? But no, hopefully they're really taking this in, because I think we are at that age. I don't expect people like younger folks to kind of understand where I'm coming from with this, but those in our age and older, or adults who are more mature,
we gotta reach them.
Yeah, so
so as far as me doing my job, I'm gonna continue to do what I do. I'm keeping my ears to these streets and keeping them clippers to them heads.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And moving on, that was a good shop talk. Moving on, it's now time for Whose Mans Is This?
Whose Mans Is This?
And we have a couple that we're gonna bless with a Whose Mans Is This. Of course, we have to bless this young 16-year-old girl who didn't thoroughly process this fake kidnapping. So
hey, whose mans is this?
Yeah, she has to get it.
All right, she got it.
Whose mans is this?
And we're gonna give our very own Leah a Whose Mans Is This, because she questioned.
Hey, whose mans is
It
this?
was questionable. That shouldn't have been questionable.
Oh man!
But that's cool. We'll discuss this off air. Now, I feel like we need to go back and listen to some of the episodes and see who we blessed with a Whose Mans Is This, and realize do you actually have a brain? Because we have another dummy of the year on here. And a young man was hired by Wells Fargo to watch the cash vault. What does he do? He robs the cash vault of $88,000. And what does the dummy do next? He goes and stunts on social media with a new Benz and the stack of money, new clothes and all. You can't be that dumb. All right? You cannot be that dumb in today's society.
When stunting on social media goes wrong, who do you blame now for this? Other than him, because he a straight dummy. He a whole dummy.
I blame
but
him. He's a dumbass.
This is surrounding social media for people wanting to gain attention, doing too much for people that don't care about you.
The crazy part about that is that the reason why I got to super blame him is because a lot of people that we might see showing off, I got to super blame them. Because a lot of people we might see showing off money on social media, they got it a way better way than the way he got.
Facts.
And catch this, y'all. He had to get a whole public defender. So he said, ain't with being broke with his shirt.
You can't even afford a lawyer.
Clearly, you can't afford a lawyer, so you are broke.
He might have to get another Whose Mans Is This too, because I
Hey,
heard
who mans is this?
I heard that this wasn't like the first, not that this wasn't the first time he was doing that,
Mans is
but
this?
like he was doing more stuff. Like he was buying stuff. He had been doing this for a while, and he only got caught with 88,000.
Yeah,
and the rest was spent.
He started.
Did he think he was not gonna get caught though? But at
He
very least
started
make it
immediately
easy.
as he got hired. Like the first 2 months, he was just
He
like
messed
taking
it up for
small
everybody else
amounts.
to even try to get a job there.
So yeah,
and Wells Fargo probably, you banks do be robbing people. That is not the point of the
What's
conversation.
more important is lawyer fees. You didn't even put away for a lawyer.
Facts. You come on, man. Be smart, not
Yeah.
dumb out here, man. Next, Whose Mans Is This? We have to bless. A workplace bathroom had a sign with a strict time limit.
10 minutes.
10 minutes, and if you're in there longer than 10 minutes, it's now required a smell check to see if you actually in there doing what you're doing,
Wow.
or if
Hey,
you
who
in
mans
there
is
doing just being on the phone trying to kill time.
Who mans is this?
There's so many
Hey, yo.
things wrong with this policy.
It's so many, because the fact that I don't even want to be a manager to have to go in, because if you actually stink, I'm not trying to smell that.
Imagine going in for the interview. They're like, yeah, what's the job requirements? Well, you might have to take a smell check at some point.
Like what?
But,
Who wants to be the person who does that? Number one, who wants to like? That's so embarrassing. Especially if you smell.
Whose
Come on
mans
now.
is that anyway?
Yeah.
We don't.
Now, seriously.
man.
But then what it now, like, as the manager, what if you're in there longer than 10 minutes? Am
Does
I now required to go in and be like, hey boss, you been in here a little bit too long. We had our meeting at 2:00. It's 2:20.
I don't know. Maybe the person above the
definitely
manager
coming
had
in
to
on
go
boss.
in.
I'm definitely coming in on the
Who,
boss.
I needed to know exactly where this
I'ma
workplace
send the
was.
email out.
I didn't know the story was real and it was on Fox Baltimore, so that was a legitimate story. I don't know the workplace.
Listen, wherever the place is at, you are wilding.
But they had the whole like policy written out on black marker.
Yeah, that's crazy. You wilding at this
Like,
point.
come on, it must be like a small company.
It's never that serious. You don't understand.
Now, what company you think the man like ran by? What race?
White folks.
You already know.
Has to be.
Man, it's like ain't no way around it.
No.
Do you have anyone else to bless with a Whose Mans Is This?
Nah, I'm good.
It's been a good week. All right,
It's
cool.
been a
So
good
we got
week.
our
It's been a good week.
Whose Mans Is This to bless with.
Yeah.
No big church announcements. Shout out to my homegirl Day Day. She's celebrating her 30th this weekend. She's actually doing a sneaker ball thing for her Dirty 30. So that's going to be pretty lit. Listen, the holidays are around the corner. Everyone have a safe holiday. If you're traveling, safe travels.
I got one quick church announcement. Real
Okay.
quick. Not even a church announcement, a shout out rather. Shout out to the great young kids at Glenmount Elementary School. I went there early today to give away free haircuts for the kids for the holidays. You know,
man,
They
that's
was
so
very,
dope.
they were very appreciative. They are hilarious kids.
Yeah, I
and, you
seen
know,
the videos, man. They was looking.
Oh, yeah, they
fresh.
was looking nice.
I
They
need
was
y'all to
looking nice.
understand. My man's is nice out here.
One of the kids said he left out of there. He went back to class, and all the girls were looking at him. He had to come back because he was kind of embarrassed. He didn't know it had that effect. You know what I'm saying?
My
But
man's left with a couple numbers.
shout out to the other barbers that was there too, and my man's David. It was his pops and one of his cousins. He was a teacher up there.
Okay.
One of your frat brothers too.
Yeah,
from Morgan.
man. Shout out to
So
him.
we held it down to them. So
And y'all barbers now actually have a theme song too.
He
If y'all haven't seen the theme song for the barbers, listen, I'm gonna play it for y'all off air. But listen, it's your big dog Kid 6, Chi-Town's finest Carlton, your dig, and your girl Leah, aka the therapist, is so effing classy. Until next week. Next week will be our final episode until 2020.
Yes.
So we will return on 1/7/2020. All right.
All right.
2020 clear
Mixers,
vision.
we appreciate y'all as always. Thank you, and we are out of here.